Hello everyone and welcome to Cypher. This game is about deciphering texts. I actually used to be pretty into like deciphering stuff. I have helped out in a few ARGs back in the day. I also do a lot of geocaching, do a lot of puzzle caching, where you have to generally solve a lot of things. But without further ado, let's get started. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank, and of having nothing to do. Once or twice she had peeked into the book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it. And what is the use of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversations? So she was considering in her own mind, as well as she could, for the hot day made her very sleepy and stupid, whether the pleasure of making a daisy chain would be worth the trouble of getting up and picking the daisies, when suddenly a white rabbit with pink eyes ran close by her. You can type hint into any console for an additional clue. We can see that there's some bold letters here. So G, O, L, D, E, N, K, E, Y. Golden key. Alrighty, let's put that one in. Oh, I can't spell today. There we go. Okay, it doesn't take spaces, so I can just write it without spaces, that's fine. Alrighty, a little bit about the history of ciphering here. I won't read it all myself, but you can read it yourself if I just do this. At the end of this game, we're going to be able to decrypt the advanced encryption standard there. That's what this game is teaching us to do, I reckon. Cryptography is the study of secret messages. Cryptography has been used throughout history as a means of exchanging private correspondence such as personal letters, important military communications and financial information. This has created an ongoing race between cryptographers who design increasingly complex ciphers and the cryptanalysts who attempt to crack them. The 6 chambers ahead present a series of puzzles designed to introduce you to some of the most common ciphers and techniques for breaking them. They are arranged roughly in order of complexity. Cryptanalysts can be a time-consuming task requiring patience and focus. The puzzles ahead are largely left to your creativity to solve, but all the clues needed are present within the rooms. So grab a pen and paper and good luck. I've got a pen and paper right next to me here. And then we'll get a whole bunch of letters here. We'll worry about that later. Concealment, transposition, and substitution. I've done a few substitution ciphers before, but I'm imagining that we're going to learn these in here. Steganography, concealed writing, is a form of cryptography whereby a secret message is hidden within another innocuous-looking message, with the hope that it will pass undetected. Steganography is a weak form of cryptography, as the secret message is not enciphered and relies entirely on its ability to go unnoticed. Once a hidden message is suspected, it can usually be revealed without the need of any special techniques, given enough time and scrutiny. When cryptanalyzing a text, you should begin by looking closely for any unusual aspects of the text, such as alignment, spacing, word choice, etc., which indicates the text has been forced into some pattern. Secondly, you should look for alternate ways of interpreting the message aside from the obvious. Steganography. And we've got binary and Morse here. Alrighty, well, let's have a look. Colonel, here is the inventory of the camp's food stores you requested. And then under it says spy suspected in the things there. So let's put that one down. We're good. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a volume of forgotten lore. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I mutter, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and never more. Alrighty. What we can see here is that some letters, like words like while here, have too many letters. And I noticed that forgotten has too many letters. There was one that I noticed that had less suddenly here. Yeah, it has less letters. So if we take those, we've got L-E-N. I'll be Lenore, right? Because that's yeah, that's the character in that one. The Raven. There we go. I remember now. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Invisible ink. Easy enough. I could only see that when I was real close. I wonder if I can see it from here. Invisible ink. There we go. Let's have a look. Can I see it from here? Oh, just barely. I ain't got my glasses on, so my reading's not the best. It's been too long since we last spoke. However, the time of our escape is not something which one can divulge so easily for fear of prying eyes, but we'll soon be free. And what we can see is that some of them are italicized, so 213. So the 2143, and those are all numbers, right? There we go, easy enough. The fatal tablets till that instant sealed, the deathful secret to the king revealed. Is that the right spelling of fatal? It is, yeah. I don't see anything else in this. Oh, what's that? Oh, hello. In plain sight. Oh, so that's... It looks like a period from over here, but... In plain sight. It's obviously, like, trying to trick me. You can only really notice that until you're really up. Okay, well, we've got 3 times. 308, 1815, and 1415. Okay, let's think about this one for a second. 308, 1815, 1415. So that'll be 615 and 215 in times, but they could also be letters, right? Because all of those, we've got 26 character alphabet. All those numbers fit within the alphabet. So if it was the alphabet, we can really quickly check this. C, G, or H, H, C, H. R, C, H, R. That could be a word sober. P, I think. No, CHRO. You know, Chrono. So the god of time, which makes sense because those are all times, as well as letters. Alrighty. What about this one? Okay. We've got a whole bunch of crosses. We got different symbols, right? Well, this one's got like a notch in the top right, and this one's got a notch in the bottom left. Could this be binary? Let's have a look. Well, it could be. But let's have a look at it again. What would these be? The full ones if it was binary. And also, can you do 5 characters in binary? It looks like you need 8, right? Unless it's like cut here. It might be. So it would be like 111. Well, we don't have so 111 would be a number maybe. What would that be? Like 4, 5, 6, 7. But then this one would just be 1. Maybe it's Morse code. Let's have a look. Would it be like dot 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 S? But then what's these? Are these dashes? The full ones? Or are these dashes the ones with the bottom left ones? So if it's dot 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 and then dot. Dot is just E, right? Yeah, S-E. I'm so confused, man. I'm so confused. Yeah, maybe it's dot 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 dash dot. Is there anything? I feel like, yeah, there are 4. Okay. But we have got a space here, right? So it could be possible that either those full ones are spaces or the other ones are spaces. What's dash dash dash? Oh. Dash dot. In. So on. This is making more sense. Dot dot. I. Dash dash dot. Big. Dash. I feel like it must be the other way around if it's going to be Morse code. So let's start that again. I might just cut that bit out. Oop. Oh god. Breaking everything over here. There we go. It would be dot dot dot, which is S. And then dot dash. A. Dash dash. M. Dot dot dash. U. I feel like it's going to be Samuel or something, but that one dot is an E. So next one is dot dash dot dot. Say L dot dash dot dot. Yeah, Samuel. There we go. Which is the name of the guy that invented Morse code, right? Samuel Morse. That makes sense. So this one must be the binary one then. Let's just quickly write it down. So B dot 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 dash dot dot. You can see what I'm doing here, hopefully. Is that I'm doing a dot for each of the big ones, and I dash for all the small ones. Even though that's not done, I just realized that's most good. Oh well, still readable, right?
Now is that L the small one? I'm not too sure. Is that L that we can... Is that L so we can compare it against? But let's compare it against the D. Yeah, it's a lot smaller than the D. So that's fine. Is that I smaller than the other O? Might be. Well, it's so hard to tell. Really should put my glasses on, but I haven't bothered. Is that G smaller? Is that E smaller? Yeah, I feel like both of them smaller. Just keep it in the D. So dot, dash, dash, dot, or dash. And then dot, dash, dash, dot, dash. Okay, so what are those? So the first one I've got is 00001, so 1. Then all zeros. So 0. Then 0. Let me just double check. So CEISK. Yeah, none of those look too small, right? Yeah. And then dash, dash, dot, dash, which is another 1. I'm gonna just double check that. No, it's not. It's it's the next one, right? So it'll be 1 here, so 2. I'm gonna hope this is right. 1, 2, dot. 1, 2, 0, 0, no, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. 0, 1, 1, 0. 14. And then 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. 8, 4, 1. 15. So 1, 0, 2, 14, 15. Let me just try that in. No.
Well, we fucked that bit one then. Let's get to the next room. Transposition. Transposition ciphers aim to disguise a message by changing the positions of its letters. The word transposition alone has over 6 billion possible rearrangements, so it is capable of offering very strong encryption. Over the time it takes to encipher and then decipher a message, as the length of the key which must be exchanged are important factors when deciding on a cipher to use. For this reason, most transposition ciphers will use a simple pattern of encipherment, such as reading off every other letter in a plain text to create a ciphertext. When cryptanalyzing a text, you should begin working through possible numerical patterns, starting from the simplest. You won't need to decipher the whole text using your test pattern, as vowel distribution and letter pairing should soon indicate if it reveals an English word. Attempting to find a pattern which links together common pairs of letters like TH, as well as a good eye for anagrams, can help speed up decryption. Alright, let's have a look. I mean, this is obviously just Cypher, right? That one's easy, compared to that last one in the binary room. Okay. Okay, so something that I'm noticing immediately is that if we take the first letter from here, which is T, and the next one from here, which is H, and then the next one from here, which is E, that spells the. So let me just quickly whip from that. The Jill. The R hidden must be behind or beneath. BENEATH, beneath the I'm not saying this last word. ELMTR. Elm tree? The jewels are hidden beneath the elm tree? Can I just type an elm tree? Oh, okay. I don't have to type in the whole thing. Alrighty. Okay. That's just reflection backwards. Pretty easy when you read it, right? Reflection. Alright, let's have a look at this. Okay, I've already... Okay. So just staring at this for a second, I saw the word dragon over here. That's the first thing that really popped out to me. And I noticed that there was a couple of ways of writing the word dragon, but the main one that is actually legible is going diagonally. So if you go from the D and then go diagonally down, you get D-R-A-G-O-N. And then I worked that out from this corner here. You've got A-S-S-A-S-S-I-N, which is assassin. So it must be that the X is like a space. Otherwise, you know, it's just not going to get any word. And that makes sense, right? Assassin. E. But then the next one, B. An E-N. En route. Trust no one, hide the jade dragon. Okay. Jade dragon. I'm gonna just try typing that in. Because it also had no space in here. So, makes sense, right? Okay. Have I figured this one out? No. So the first thing that I was looking at, if you were wondering, is just whether I could take the first letter of everything. R-E-D-N. Redden. Doesn't make sense. Then the next thing that I was thinking was if we take the last letter of each one, like go backwards, and then there's A-A-I-S, which is also nothing. And then this is just assuming that we drop the Q's. So let me have a look at it a little bit longer. The middle one's T-K-T-W, so that does nothing. Okay, I saw, okay. This one, A-W or N-W-A, this one's really interesting, right? Because if we read it backwards, A-W-N, then if we take the D from that one, we get dawn. So that is interesting. So if we continue to go backwards, but within the Q's, we would get at, T-A, then backwards is at. So at dawn. And then, what's this? That'd be icky. Ritz. What's icky Ritz? Icky Ritz, icky Ritz. Strike at dawn. Okay, there we go. I forgot that we're doing it, I forgot that we were doing it backwards for a minute. God, I'm stupid sometimes. Alrighty, there we go. Bam. Okay, so what I was thinking at first for this one was that it's similar to this one. We were taking like a letter from here and a letter from here, but this time we're taking one from the start of the puzzle and the end of the puzzle, which would be like TL. But there's very few words that start with TL, but the fact that there's an E, I'm just going to write it down very quickly because I can't think of it. No, it's not making anything really. So can we find like a the or something like that? I saw pet backwards and I thought that we had something right in the middle there. But I don't think it is backwards, unless it's like lit, and then lit too. But then we've got feeding LMOR, which is just nothing, right? Is it the same amount of letters forward and backwards? Because, well, is it an even amount? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So yeah, you could divide it into 16s. But let's have a look at these over here. Diagrams, okay. Yeah, so we want to find a diagram, right?
So we split it into 16s. That'd be this T, this E onwards. So I'm just going to write that down very quickly. E-P-A-I. E-N. Rommel. M-N-T. T-I-L. And then if we... 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't even read my own writing, so there we go. Rommel. M-N-T. That was more like an I than a T. E-N-L, yep. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16. Sweet. So let's write down the other ones. I hope this does something, otherwise I've just written all this down for no reason. Alrighty, so it'd be T, P, E, P, Peat, or Peat, or Teep. I think that's double A. Okay, let's just forget about that one for now. I could get a hint, I suppose, but I wonder if this one's also diagonal. Liga, no, Nissan. Antiques. I can spell antiques. And then out of the letters left we've got C-G-K-L-E-E-N. Do they spell anything? And also, how do we get... Because we're doing a lot of weird stuff to get antiques. We're getting A-N from here, T-I from here. Right? U from here, E-S. So we're getting all around the place, really. It's not an actual pattern. Okay, I'm just gonna move up to this one. Okay. Let's have a look at the next room, so we can figure out anything there. Mono alphabetical substitution. Oh, this is where you separate the... Okay. Substitution ciphers aim to disguise a message by substituting its letters for a different set of letters, leaving the original message completely obscured. A cipher may use a simple key such as moving all letters a number of places along the alphabet, or may use a more complex random assignment. Monoalphabetical ciphers were widely used for hundreds of years until a technique known as frequency analysis completely destroyed their effectiveness. When cryptanalyzing, you should note that although a letter may have been exchanged for another, telltale characters of the original letter remain. For example, the most common letter in English is E. The most commonly occurring letter in a ciphertext is Z. Then it is very likely that Z equals E. Once a few important letters have been discovered through frequency analysis, the missing letters can often be guessed and the message decrypted. Alrighty, well let's have a look very quickly. Okay, so this one already gives us a fair few letters. So what we know is, I'm going to guess that X is E, X is N. I'm going to create a new page here. Just because of that RBXF, XP bit up the top there. So I'm just going to write every letter down. H. Alrighty, then let's write down what they've been transcribed to. So we have an A. We know that P is now E. We know that D is G. R has been translated to G, right? Maybe I should do it the other way around, but that's fine. R is S. I've already started doing it this way, so I'm going to finish doing it this way. X is M. D is T. D, Z. S-O-S, do we have any O? Yep. E-O-D-O. E-S-T-D. Yeah, perfect. I think that we've got all the letters now. That gives us... The one that I'm next interested in is the... I'm just writing down all of the thing now so I can translate it. B. HT. So that HT bit... HG, sorry. Must be IT. XL would be M or something. might be at. And we get an A. Oh yeah, it would be at. Because at my makes no sense, but at my makes perfect sense. So let's write down H as A, and L is Y. There we go. The one that I'm thinking about is a three-letter word ending with D. Very few of those, but I think it would be like end, for example, or and. Which... But we know that it's AD now because of the H. Like bad or and. Z. Okay, so ZWR and BRHK is D, S, O, S, and then A. OSA. WWW. Seems like W might be another vowel, just based on that S blank white TED. I'm trying to think of a consonant it could be, and I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'm reluctant to run it as a vowel without actually running them through, though. But that would make sense for D blank S as well. But it's not an E, it's not an A, it's not an O, so that means it's a U or I. This or this. I can't think right now. UT. I want to say that PQ. T is H, which I might just say. UTQQ, it would be HE. WQ. Condom? Could be condom. Is that the same letter twice? It is, isn't it? I think that W must be I. Because is it just one letter? Either that or it's an A, but I've already figured out that H is an A. Oh, it might be H is an I. Because it could be head. And then, but. Because that's what I was thinking, right? It could be blank, head is, it, my, but that, yeah. I don't think it will just, I don't know. I'm gonna write it W as I for now. I might be having had some at my, so that would mean an S is a B, an H is an A, W is an I, N is a Q, and a D is a G, yep. And some at my. In London, so K is out. So it's having had some at my blank in London. When in London, I reckon. So U is W. And K is L. Disposal, N is P. Having had some at my disposal when in London, I had. Visited, S is V, but we already got it right. Yeah. And GTP must be there. And we've got T down, SH, yeah. GWRT. WG, WRT, GST, and I. British, must be. So I is B. I have been all this long. Oh my god, they are. I'll finish this one and then I'll end the video. It must be a museum, right? Yep. And made the NT. Search. Made search. Among. Oh my god, it's the loose, whoever be. Oh no, it's not loose, it's the BOO. The boots. There might be boots. No. Like vegan. And maps. So what would it be? Oops. Oh yeah, I is definitely B. So it is BOO something, yes. Unless it's boots, but a very good bean, right? Books, it must be books, there we go. Books and maps. In the a library. So is there any letter in library that we haven't got? No. Ridge. Regarding. Again, we have got all of regarding. This is a long word. It must be Transylvania, right? Yeah, it is in Transylvania. So that's the bold one, so we can just write Transylvania in. We didn't need to translate at all. Hooray! Alrighty, that was the Cypher. We will solve all the rest next time. See ya!